Noname, who I still am not that familiar with, I'll be honest, from Chicago. Says she is fed up with her fan base, if I understand this correctly. She says she's threatening to fall back from rap. And on last Thursday, she revealed that she's pretty much fed up in terms of her fan base of people that show up to the show. She says, and this is a tweet with a picture of a woman in a clown, I guess clown makeup or mask or something.
Was it the Denzel thing?
Might have been Denzel. I'm not sure. I didn't. Get
or
to
Morgan
see the
Freeman, maybe.
I'd have to pull it up.
Yeah.
I could pull it up. But the caption said, "This is me consistently creating content that is primarily consumed by a white audience who would rather shit on me than challenge their liberalism, because somehow liking Lizzo's music absolves them of racist tendencies." And then she continued to go on and said, "My black fans are all in my mentions talking about what do you mean primarily white? We support the fuck out of you," is what their fans were saying. Clearly proving that, and then she says clearly proving that they've never been to a show. And it says, "Y'all really pushing the idea that black people can't come to my shows because of Black death, financial restraint, as if the Baby, Meg Thee Stallion, and Smino shows ain't full of black people." I'm paraphrasing here, or shows are black as hell. I'm like, okay, that's a lot to unwrap. I didn't think about, I guess, an artist looking at their fan base that much. It's like, yo, like, I've never seen a take like this before. Like, she's almost like, she doesn't necessarily like the fan base that she's performing in front of, but I'm like, are your shows sold out? Like, did you not think about your demographic? This is a little confusing to me. What do you think, Lo, in terms of this, in terms of where she's coming from? Does it make sense?
I feel like I have to be delicate with this, but she sounds bitter.
Okay.
From an artist standpoint, it sounds like she feels like she should be able to choose who likes her music.
Right. That's weird.
She's not the first person to speak. She's not the first black person to speak on having all white crowds. Murs has a song I know on 316. It's called "And This Is For," talking about all white people. Actually, go listen to that song because
good point.
Literally talks about the same thing she's talking about.
Okay.
You know, like, I mean, you really gonna get mad at the people that are coming to your shows? That's
what I'm saying. That's my question.
I don't know, but historically speaking, in hip hop, she definitely isn't the first black artist to have mostly white crowds, if that is the case.
Yeah. I mean, that's been the ongoing trend, musically speaking, as far as being a consumer is concerned. So the way it's been. I mean, if you look at the NWA movie, Straight Outta Compton, when they were performing, they were performing in front of predominantly white crowds after they left the kind of club scene.
Right.
So once
they got mainstream.
Once it became mainstream, more white people consumed it. And that's how it is, period, though. Over a lot of shows or things that happened in the past or up to this day, there's just that's just how it is. It's like they want, I can't really speak for the white people that attend the shows. Maybe they just want to see the cultural difference, or they are actually fans. I don't know, because I mean, people go through phases. There are a lot of people that listen to hip hop and then they retire from listening to hip hop. It's kind of was like a young thing.
But rap is always connected, you know, or been a bridge for kids from the suburbs to kind of come over and experience
some culture, right?
Yeah, through music, right?
Right.
So that part that doesn't necessarily shock me. It's just more about the concept of her actually analyzing, like overanalyzing her fan base. Like that's a little weird to me, because
I mean, I get where she's coming from, though.
Okay.
I mean, she would prefer it if her crowd was less Caucasian.
Yeah,
it sounds like she's more mad at black people than she is at the white.
Oh, 100%,
for sure,
100%. Yeah,
because as she mentioned, Smino and
the Baby and Meg Thee Stallion.
Right,
but it's weird.
But it's a different type of music, though.
True.
It's just weird to get mad at people in
Who
that
pay
way.
money to see you.
That's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
point. That's where I'm coming from. Jump in, Jay Moore.
Well, this has been an ongoing conversation. I remember comment on the Things Fall Apart, making talking about him and the Roots, really pretty much saying, hey, sometimes we look out into the crowd and it's nothing but coffee shop chicks and white dudes.
Facts.
Questlove has talked about how in the Dave Chappelle documentary, The Block Party, about there's a conflict, not really a conflict, but Dave Chappelle and the Roots have largely white audiences. I've been going to see the Roots at different times for at least 25 years now.
The Roots are Jimmy Fallon's band.
Yeah,
Facts.
And
That's a fact.
But even
Yeah.
before that, if the crowd wasn't 50-50, it was mostly white people there. I mean, and that's just, honestly, that's hip hop. I mean, even when you're talking about the real militant stuff, I've been to a Dead Prez show and it was mostly white
Public
people.
Enemy.
And
Public Enemy, yeah.
And it was like no black women there at all. It was white women and Asian women outnumbered the black women at a Dead Prez show. And if you don't know what Dead Prez content is about, go ahead and look it up because I want you to check it out. But at the same time, if you do, then that should be, it is kind of a weird dynamic as far as who actually supports the music financially and, who the artists find themselves making it for. It really is, it's a crazy dynamic because, if you're in America and you're successful as any type of artist, you have that white fan base.
Yeah.
They say any movie that makes more than $15 million, 10, some maybe, yeah, around 15, 20 due to inflation. That movie has gone mainstream. You can't get to more than $20-25 million at the box office with just black people going to go see it.
What about the piece about Lizzo? Why'd she bring Lizzo up?
I think Lizzo's a punching. I mean, like we've joked about it a little bit. That wasn't even really about her music, but right now Lizzo's kind of a punching bag. I feel for certain people in the industry because she's so successful and she got 7 Grammy nominations, and plus
She's probably gonna take home about 3 of them
At least.
And plus, it's weird because I'm like, she's not a new artist, but she's up for New Artist of the Year. And then there are other people who were disqualified from being in that new artist category because they said, they had mixtapes, which everything is an album now. I don't care if it's playlist or mixtape.
Yeah.
If you put it out and you can stream it, that's an album.
I'm cool on that.
But, I think there is, and the thing is, like, sometimes when I see Lizzo and her crowds, I'm like, are they laughing with her or are they laughing at her?
Right.
That's my only real concern because
Lizzo's definitely a special case because with Lizzo, as a hip hop podcast, people that love hip hop, if you listen to Lizzo, you're not considering that hip hop at all.
No.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
There are raps in it, but that's not rap music.
It's not rap music. It's very poppy, and it's very inviting to somebody that's not really in hip hop.
Yeah, and
simple as that.
And I know as somebody who has thrown many independent shows in Indianapolis that if I was to book a Noname, or let's go away from Noname. Let's just say the Sky Zoo and Ilzai show that I almost bid on.
I'd have been there.
I'm banking on those white people showing up so that I can pay them.
Yeah, the college kids.
You know what I mean? Like that's part of it. That's a huge part of the underground hip hop fan base.
When we saw when we sat down with Odyssey, and had the interview with him and met the crew and everything. When we came downstairs and we got a chance to get into the hi-fi and get settled in before they came out, that was a predominantly white crowd. I remember being there. You know what I'm saying? Now Odyssey's a dude from DC, the DMV area, Go-Go, Wale, all that. But in that room, it's what, 80-20? You were there. Probably, what, 80-20, would you say?
I don't remember.
I'd say more.
Think about a Wu-Tang show,
I'd say about
though.
60-40.
60-40? Okay. Maybe I was a little
But
high.
still, that's still a majority.
But you get what I'm saying.
Like for someone who
It
makes unapologetically black music, and this is very
That's
common.
what I'm talking about.
It's a strange thing to see that a lot of, as far as a live audience, the majority of the people who are there are not black people.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of her point.
Yeah.
So I can't really speak on her music or anything. I'm not really a huge fan of hers, but
I'm not that familiar. I can't front.
and I don't know a ton of her material, but you know, I hope she has continued success, and I hope she doesn't quit like she says she was going to.
I mean, it's just it's part of the game that you got into.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna talk about Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang are from the hood. Music is grimy, is gritty, is, you know what I'm saying, it's real.
For sure.
But fast forward to now, between the time that they actually came out, which was what, 92, 93?
Yeah, 93.
Yeah,
93. How many people do you see putting up a W and pretty much
Still see it.
exploiting the Wu-Tang symbol?
How many Wu-Tang tattoos do you see?
How many fake Wu-Tang pieces of gear do you see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
Hey,
buy
every-
a Wu-Tang shirt
go to
at
Target.
Target. You know?
They everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
This is Wu-Tang street shit. But
Yeah.
it's not, it's commercialized now.
Yeah. 100%.
It's very popular. So, I mean, once you get into the hip hop game, once the door is open for you, you might as well embrace it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
if she really wants to fight this battle, it's definitely going to be an upward battle. So
Yeah.
You know, if she doesn't have music that's really played on the radio, I don't know. It's a hard thing because like it's. I hate to say it out loud, but if your songs aren't on the radio, the majority of the people who are going to come to see you are not going to be black.
Yeah.
That's my experience. Because like, you know, when I see the videos, because Rick Ross was in Indianapolis recently, and then I see the videos of Meg Thee Stallion at that same venue, I say it was there were plenty of white people there, but I would still say it was a majority black crowd. And those are people who have big songs on the radio at any given time.
Right.
But, you know, when you're talking about somebody like Odyssey, if you don't know Odyssey, then you don't know Odyssey. You have to be, I don't want to marginalize anybody, but you have to be a real music fan, a real fan of hip hop
I think
to
that's a
really
fair
get
You gotta
involved.
be real rounded. Because
You know.
I remember the night that that Odyssey was here.
Yeah.
I went to Odyssey show.
Yep.
Maxie actually had a show that night too.
Yeah, he did.
I went to Maxie show as well. And I remember somebody making a statement about how many people were at Maxie's versus Odyssey's. And I was like, well, I'm a fan of both. And I made sure to attend both of them. You know what I'm saying? But they're both, even though they're both hip hop shows, you're seeing different crowds. You know what I'm saying?
Way different.
It's
Way
a
different.
different demographic too,
Right.
based on styles.
Style and appeal.
I mean, and that
Yeah.
just shows you how vast and diverse just the genre of hip hop is.
Right.
You know, there's certain people who have, when we say Odyssey, they have no idea who we're talking about.
That's a fact.
But then at the same time, there are people who are, you know, we have a real hardcore, I would say, you know, very serious hip hop audience, and they couldn't tell you one Megan Thee Stallion song, even though her music comes on the radio every 15 minutes.
You're looking right at them.
There you go.
There it is. I mean, she has a right to her opinion, so who am I to say she can't think that way? It was interesting to me to hear someone take that take, but hey.
But I would say if
Realize
somebody's
the
paying
crowd.
$25 to come see you, then you should be
Yeah,
thankful.
be thankful for that, man.
I think it also has to do with a lot of anxieties, and these new artists are making it and are seeing what it's really like. So you have Noname,
Yep.
and Summer Walker has actually been on, like, she doesn't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Because she's seeing what it actually is.
Yeah.
And
just
she
thought
wasn't
it-
even saying from just seeing white people.
Yeah.
Just seeing
She
people
was just seeing
freaks
people
her out.
in general.
Period. Yeah.
It's like messing with her psyche.
Yeah.
And she's not liking it. So she's like, after this, I might be done. So
That's
you got to
tough.
kind of credit it to people's anxieties too, as far as what they're saying versus them being a mean or despiteful person or ungrateful even. So you got to kind of factor that stuff into it.
You know, but also at the same time, like I know people that get a lot of anxiety around a lot of white people.
Yeah.
So,
True.
I mean, I
True.
get it. I understand. You know,
Especially if you're not from a situation when you're around a lot of white people. I saw that just when I went to college. There are certain people that they had never been around that many white people, and they're in, you know, they had all black neighborhood, all black teachers, all black coaches. You get to Southern Illinois and you're surrounded by white people. It's enough to mess with some people's heads if you're
Culture
not
shock,
really
for sure.
if you've never experienced that.
that's where that really corny white dude that grew up that gets thrust into the all black situations comes from as well.
Or just even a little bit black situation. Like
That's true. That's very true.
In that, on that same token, when I got to
what's up, bro?
Yeah. I got
What's up, dog?
Hey, homie.
Can I call you T-Dog?
Yeah. No, just Terrence will do.
Yeah.
No, and they get around. They've literally been around no black people. You know, only black people they know are the ones that come on TV.
Yeah.
And that's not always the best look.
Yeah.
No?
And
I know those. I know them.
And they're figuring it out on the fly. It's like they're making mad mistakes as they try to figure it out, and it's super uncomfortable.
Like, I don't always need a high five. You can just shake my hand like a man. And it's all good.
Yeah.
Wanna go shoot some hoops, bro? All right, man. How you know I play basketball?
Yes,
I can't even
but
hoop, man.
the fact that you knew that I wanted to go shoot hoops.
I want to go play chess, motherfucker. Now,
How
can we go
about
do
that?
that?
And go play some lacrosse, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. No,
Polo,
you don't.
Polo,
little
crap.
rugby.
You trying to ride around on a horse and hit a ball?
No, I'm not.
Hit a
We got some
bang with a
Hennessy
stick?
over in the room if you'd like to come through.
I know you guys love Hennessy.
You know, it was a really bad one. Then we can move on. I remember I met this dude, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know a guy that went to SIU." Of course, he named one other black person. And he's like, and then in my mind, I'm like, "Why would you just automatically assume that I knew him?" But it was messed up because I knew him.
Like, you guys are roommates or something, or I thought you guys had been roommates.
I thought you were cousins.
He stayed on the second floor. I was on the first. I knew exactly who he was talking about. But the fact that he said it,
You should be like,
funny.
nah, I don't know him. I don't know him.
but there's
Never
a
saw
picture
him.
you